So I went into psychology, and one of my thoughts was, well, when I was studying inorganic chemistry and biology and all that stuff, zoology, I was studying animals, and I'm so glad because now I can study the human mind. What motivates us, what makes us tick. So the first course I took, all we talked about was lab rats for like the whole course. And I thought, what difference is this? That's not to say you can't apply that to humans. There's a great book out there, Who Moved My Cheese. But we didn't do that in my psychology course. We just talked about lab rats. I think if I were to do it all over again, I would have gotten an MBA, a Master's of Business Administration. When I took psychology, I eventually learned how to be a therapist, and I learned how to have a job, and I learned how to do that job well. But the brass ring in therapy is to go into private practice. Well, they never teach you how to run your own business. They never teach you anything, and I've heard doctors and dentists have the same problem. They're great at being a doctor, they're great at doing dental work, but they don't know how to run a private practice. So when they start running their private practice, it's really difficult for them. And they have to learn all these things through experience that they could have just learned easily if they'd gotten a Master's of Business Administration. Around this time, my younger brother got into college, and he wrote this great paper for one of his professors. And he put a lot of passion into it, and he put a lot of feeling into it, and a lot of his ideals. And he came back with a C. So he was devastated. He said, why did I get a C on this paper that I poured my heart into? And I said, well, you've got to understand college. You're not supposed to be, they don't care about passion. And of course, this is, the sciences. He said they don't care about passion, they don't care about heart, they don't care about your ideals. All they care about is logic. So take all feeling, all emotion out of it. Just write as if you're pure, rational, logical brain. His assignment was to write the paper once and then get it, add to it and get it better and better. And so he redid it with no emotion and just all logic, and he got an A. As I was almost ready to graduate, I got a mandatory order to go see my guidance counselor. And it was because a lot of people who were getting ready to graduate with a degree in psychology at my school were changing their majors at the last minute and starting over. So I went into the guidance counselor and I said, this kind of upsets me because I'm going to graduate early, or I'm going to graduate exactly on time. My brother's been here 7 years, and they didn't make him come see his guidance counselor for a mandatory interview. So she looked at my pages and she said, is this all you have left? And I said, yeah. And she said, why don't you try independent study? You could graduate 6 months early. So it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, and I graduated 6 months early. I graduated in 3.5 years, and I was free of college. And I had this nice diploma to hang on my wall, representing a lot of time and a lot of money, right? Now I was really going places, so I thought. I remember at the end of college, I packed all my belongings into this old car I had. It was brown and it was really long. I can't remember what kind it was, but it was like a boat. And I packed all of my belongings into this car, and I drove halfway across the country. And I remember I pulled in, and the song was playing on the radio, and as I turned the car off and I turned the ignition so I could listen to the rest of the song, and I thought, I never have to go back to school again. And it just hit me. After 15.5 years, I never had to go back. Or so I thought.